Greetings, family. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I would like to discuss a few unfair criticisms of the African diaspora, and I would also like to address slave master surnames that are very prevalent in the diaspora. Okay, now, as you all know, those of us who descended from the plantation era were the castaways, were the oppressed, those who were taken and carried beyond the seas to this region where we were oppressed, enslaved, brutalized, and our minds were wiped clean of all of our legacy, history, language, and spirituality. Okay, and so many people would look at us, even recognizing this horrific series of events, would look at us and would seek to point fingers and would seek to make a critique of the people we have become today. Okay, now I'm speaking about those of us like myself who have yet to change his name, who have yet to change his particular name to a name which is of an African heritage, to a name which is culturally correct. Okay, and in my opinion, this sentimental attachment to these names happens for the same reason it does in every other country. This was the name that our mothers and our fathers first called us, and so the attachment should not be uh, so confusing. And it happens to be the way in which we can trace our legacy. One second. It happens to be the way that we can trace our heritage and our genetics in the Caribbean. All right. Now, where we meet a roadblock is determining where we originate from prior to arriving in this region. Okay. There's wide speculation that in this region we are mostly of West African origins, but due to the extensive period of enslavement that took place in this region, there was the prevalence of many of the different ethnic groups being caught in the web of slavery and being taken to this region. And so, in short, many of us are very much unfamiliar with our uh, journey and where we would have journeyed from. Okay, so to be able to be authentic and to avoid being caught up in tokenism, many of us have been reluctant to just change our name to any name. We can't just go on Google and choose a name that we feel is African, okay? Because if you leave it up to us, many of us would be called Tashaka, okay, after Black Panther. And I'm not trying to be funny. The reality is, we will want to associate ourselves with a name that has significance and power, okay? And the thing is, this takes place even on the continent, because even one of our revolutionary leaders, Mandela, his first name that he went by was actually Nelson. Okay, and Nelson is a name which is not of African origin, but he has his own particular name that is known to his particular ethnic group, which is Madiba. Okay, so what I'm saying is being able to recognize the duality of our existence is very important, because although in terms of colonization there's a system in place and there are names that are more prevalent and more popular, we should still recognize our original heritage, right? And I do find it important, but I'm just reluctant at this point to make that transition because of the still unfolding legacy um, of myself in this region. I'm still here in the Caribbean, in the Bahamas, okay, and I'm still involved in activities that require the usage of this name that I use in this uh, set of circumstances. Okay, so I think one day ultimately I will make that transition, but To this date, many of us are unaware of which country in Africa or which region we would have originated from. Okay, so I don't know if I'm from Tanzania, Ethiopia, Somalia, Ghana, Nigeria, okay, Senegal. We just oblivious at this point, and there needs to be a renaissance of African culture, which can allow us to search our true legacy and our true heritage. Okay, and we need to find out where our people are from. Okay, but it's unfair of some to come to our region and criticize us for still speaking English and still using English names. The reality is, we've not had a true connection established, which can enable us to search for our true history. Okay, people. And so I would just like to give this brief explanation as to why many of us in this region have still not changed our names to a name that is of more authentic African origins. Okay, family. But let me know what your thoughts are about all of these dynamics. One love.